Okay, fine. So let's move on then. Okay, so now we are here. Thanks everybody for coming again. So we are here to discuss about how to become a data analyst or data scientist, because those roles we'll discuss in details what the slight difference in, but it's yeah, the same bucket. So what will be our agenda today? We are going to talk about analytics as we see some small updates for 2023. What we expect based on how last year ended and what the companies are expecting from us. And then we also look at what skills we are also expected to have. Some of the skills repeat themselves, but there are one or two that this year we've seen lots of jobs trying to, towards the end of last year and this year, lots of jobs are trying to add that to our toolkit, so we can look at that to get the advantage. And then also mostly for mid-career, because many people have reached out to me and they say, okay, I've been a medical field for 10 years. I've been in an accountant for 10 years and I want to make the switch. And then so we'll also discuss how you can make the switch. So, and then at the end, lots of questions and answers so that we can have all your doubts clarified as you move on to the next year. So most of you, we have had webinars like this before, but I still have to introduce myself. And Cyril Bandolo, data analyst and data scientist with more than 10 years experience, both in multinationals and startups. And then I'm also an AWS machine learning hero. So I was nominated last year as AWS machine learning hero, the first in sub-Saharan Africa. So there are just 34 machine learning heroes in the world. So I'm one of them. And then now I'm also working as a senior cloud developer consultant for a company called Serverless Guru, an AWS consulting partner. So build cloud applications. And then also a data analyst and science instructor and consultant for the company which you see here, which is the Analytics CFD. I'm the founder of that. And then also for those of you who have been following me, my YouTube channel is called Data Science with Cyril. So we already, most of you know that. And now let's talk about analytics now. So everything is bound to evolve. Everything, I'm sure you've seen this diagram in digital marketing, you've seen this diagram in almost everything, in phones, in TVs, everything is bound to evolve. So our key thing is to keep moving, because back then there was no Excel, there was no Python, there was no Apache Flink, there was no Hadoop, but people were able to do some of the things that we're doing, maybe call different names, but we have to embrace the fact that we will keep evolving. And there will be more and more need, like you see here at the third level. Excel was often used, but now as data becomes merged for maybe developed countries, maybe developing countries are still using the Excel well, fine. And I mean, I'm saying like the core part of it, not like it's useless, but I'm saying most of the work in the developing countries or in small countries or in small companies are still Excel. But then you have companies which have big data. So you see they are moving towards trying to automate things and trying to use the latest tools that will be more efficient and more effective. So let's go on then now. Let's start. The first thing is the surety is that the jobs have been increasing. The trend is high. So this from Analytics India. Remember, India has the highest analytics in the world. So a trend is there. There have been moments like when there was the H-1B visa from America, because America is the huge consumer of these services. For example, we have UK, we have Germany, they are huge consumers of analytics, data science, machine learning. But then if you see, there was when the wave of the pandemic occurred, we had that drop. But after the second wave, again, we had the drop. But you see, ever since, the increase has been exponential. So this is just to first assure you that there are jobs for you guys in this field. So just know that you have taken a right decision to be here. Now, the thing we want to see is we have to clear the elephant in the room, because someone wants to know, okay, what is the difference between the data analyst and a data scientist? I already received that question from some of you yesterday, and I just said, let's just come do it today. So for the data analyst, the cycle is more of you understand the data, you clean the data, you try to enhance it, maybe by, if you see Mr., you can say it's a male, or you group months together and years together. And then you do your analysis, which could be descriptive, maybe diagnostic, why it occurred, and then exploratory data analysis, and then you do now your visualization, maybe with your Power BI, your Tableau, or your Excel charts, and then you're able to pass that information. So, please, can you just mute your mic, please? So you're able to pass that information. So, I am that this is what I observed in our revenue or in our costs. So this is like what the data analyst does. Okay. So can everybody turn off their mic so that just turn off the mics here. I think I need to turn off the mics of some of you here. Sorry, guys. Okay, it's fine. So I'll just keep it handy in case somebody's mic comes on again. I'll just turn it off. Okay, so let's move on then. So the next thing you see is the data scientist is a bit more. On the fourth step, you see there is still data analysis. Yes, so I used to think of the data scientist like data analyst like on your way to become a data scientist, because the data scientist actually tries to identify the problem, yes, just like the data analyst does, collects the data, yes, just like the data analyst does the processing, yes, analysis, yes, the same. But the difference now comes when you have to build a machine learning model or build models to predict or to be able to use it to do some classification, some advanced things which the data analyst doesn't necessarily need. That's where the data analyst will maybe branch out to his Power BI, Tableau, or charts, more of PowerPoint, more of presentation of dashboards. But the data scientists will be trying to build a model that they can deploy online like an app, and then be able to say that this app is running and is able to predict when people buy stuff, they will like this, they will buy this, they will not like this one, or you watch this video, you will not like this one. So that's the kind of difference. In the question and answer session, we could go into more details with that, but that is like the clear cut. And if I come here and I ask, there's a core difference. Okay, I'm going to mute you guys now. So there's a core difference between what we have here, which is the fact that you can use Excel more on the data analyst side, while you're more like, let's say you'll be doing the programming on the data science side. So let's move on then. You see that we have so many roles that you can occupy, so many things that can be done in retail, in finance, web, digital, health, telecommunications, e-commerce. So there is really so much that data analysis can offer. And I'm sure that's also why you're here, because you know the potential. You see the list is too long. And just to show you that almost everything, because why? Every company deals with data. So yes, Praise, I know your hand is up. You can leave your question in the chat so that we can look at that at the end. Let's just move on with the presentation so that we get the theory, and then we can now move on to question and answers. I think that's the very important part. So you see here that you have so much you can offer, so much. I can't list them because they are really so much. It's everywhere. Because why? The company deals with data. It's about company collects maybe financial data from its customers, sets a price based on that, gets profit. Think of the accountants, so there's no way a company will not be using data. That's why the job is always needed. So let's move on then. What do companies want this year? What we've observed is that companies want data to be more democratized now. That means that's why you see tools like Power BI are very effective now, because they are able to help the company to give power to the analysis give power to analysis to the people. So you are able to have somebody in the technical department able to use Power BI to get the analysis for the technical team, maybe outage, that's what he understands. Somebody from health is able to use Power BI to come up with maybe, I don't know, mortality rates. That's what he understands. Somebody in HR is able to come up with rates of turnover or how people performance. So everybody in his domain now is able to use BI to be able to help to get some insight, just like you see your Facebook analytics, your LinkedIn analytics, your likes, the number of followers and all that, just instantaneously. That is what we expect to see from you guys, to be able to give those dashboards that give instantaneous analysis on what is happening. And then also there is the efficiency to use things like ChatGPT. We have to embrace this. And also we need to be able to use this kind of AI like our right brain, just like the calculator. So to help us to calculate faster. So it is part of our support to be able to do our job. We need, companies want us to use this to be efficient. So we need to embrace that. And also more cloud integrations, because the cloud is having like lots of potential, offering lots of opportunities for companies, because even data can be data as a service, where the cloud is where the company is able to access other data from other companies to use, even if they don't have that initially. So there's lots of cloud which I see which will be growing this year. So if you can pick up cloud skills along the line, it also helps distinguish you, because as I say, we are evolving. There have always been analysts before, but there was no cloud some years back. Now there is cloud, we need to evolve and use them. And then one of the major things is the fact that we are here to solve problems. We are not R programmers, we are not Python programmers, we are not Excel, we are not Julia, we are not JavaScript or Node.js or whatever. We are problem solvers. As soon as you look at it that way, you would see that there is that need for that end-to-end understanding of what problem you're trying to solve. And now with what we see in new job descriptions this year is more of the ETL part, because data engineering is so hot now, it's growing at a fast rate. People are trying, ETL is transform load. So people are trying to be able to include now in the data analyst role, you need to go collect the data yourself, do some transform before you do the analysis. So you have to learn to carry the ball right from the defense to the goal post. So you're no longer an attacker, but you're more of like playing from back, midfielder, dribble right up to the end. So those are skills that would be valued more this year. And we've already seen job descriptions coming with those, because the data engineering is on the way. So I'm happy, I'm glad some of you are already answering some of the questions in the chat. Thanks so much, Kamal. Thanks so much for the support that you guys are already giving. That's the spirit, and that's what we need to be able to grow together, to solve problems, to be seen, to be a community, and to be able to help each other out. So it's also a good skill. Thank you so much. So let's move on then now to without fear that the whole of last year, from November, the whole of December, there was this panic of ChatGPT is going to take over everything, and AI, why will I even study programming or data analysis or data engineering? Soon everything will be automated. It'll be like the metrics or whatever. But then I just want to remind you guys that don't forget there is a core for data analysis. That's why this field is so exciting, because you have that communication, you solve problems, you sit with people, each problem is different. So you have that business mind, which is the core. You are an analytics mind kind of person. You have descriptive analysis that you could use based on the situation at hand, diagnostic, predictive, prescriptive, cognitive. There are so many. It's really, really interesting. That's then you also have the second layer, which is the tools. Before Python came years back, people were okay with their Excel. So you have things like that. So you have these things that you need to learn. Before, the data analyst or data scientist was called a statistician. Now the word statistician doesn't look sexy anymore. It's like going away. So you have those tools which will keep changing. Maybe next year, if we have the same webinar next year, January, we'll be talking of different tools, but the core would never change. That is, understand the business, have an analytics mindset, and also be able to communicate, because those are the core. Then other things, you feed them, you go to Google to solve, you Google your problems when you have issues, go to Stack Overflow for those of you who code, check what questions there, get answers. You can use your ChatGPT to help you. You can use anything, it's just support, just like a calculator, but then the core is you who knows the problem you want to solve, and you know the figures you want to punch for the calculator to calculate for you. That's just a calculator supports your second brain. So I just wanted to be sure about that there's no fear. The only fear is AI will not replace you, but a person using AI will replace you, because he's faster, he's more efficient, he's more current, he's more active. Okay, talking. Every Let me just mute the person talking right now. I'm trying to get to them. Okay, thanks. So that's like just to say, don't be afraid. And then now let's look at the skills. Again, for those of you who have been last year, this diagram still holds. There is still that intersection between business, programming, statistics, communication, which we have discussed briefly. And again, this one too here. But down here, you would see I've added ETL, big data. These are things which are hot this year. So what has been, there's always on the left side, your domain knowledge, and understand the field you're coming from. So somebody who has been 10 years in the medical field, that's good. You just need to add Excel or SQL or Power BI and you're fine. You already have the domain knowledge, and then you're able to communicate with your colleagues, able to share your ideas, because the discovery you found out from the data, you need to communicate to people to be able to buy that idea or to act upon it. So that's communication and some form of selling. Then you're able to solve problems because you identified that maybe there was a problem with sales, there was a problem with revenue, there was a problem with churn, there was a problem with fraud. You build a model to predict that. So you're able to solve the problem, and then you think critically because it's not been done before. So you're trying to solve something that you've not done before. So that's all that makes who you are. And then on the left side, the tools are there. Nobody can know all the AWS services. Nobody is able to know all the big data tools, but then you pick one, based on the problem at hand, you're able to solve the problem that you're trying to solve. So again, for data science, if you want to know how to get domain knowledge, you just need to try to go close to the business, understand how the business works, speak the language of the business, be a customer in that company, act like a customer, and you learn more about the domain. Your critical thinking, you always need to challenge your assumptions, try to get understanding the inside of the root cause. And then for problem solving, every problem is different. So try to think up, have an open mind. You're part artist, part analyst. And then your creativity, you're part analyst, but communication, always challenge your assumptions and try to gain a deeper understanding. So I still, again, repeat, we were here last, we still say T-shaped learning is very encouraged, where you have a broad idea of what your other colleagues are doing, how you fit into the company, how everything fits in. Because the temptation for some data scientists or machine learning engineers is just to focus on the accuracy of their models. How accurate is it? But there is a lot more. There is testing. There is CI/CD deployment. There is, after you deploy the model online, there is model monitoring. You monitor the model. Is it misleading the company, or is it still accurate? So there's a lot. So try to open your mind. Yes, you're focused. You're an expert in maybe natural language programming or MLOps or deep learning or Power BI or Excel or Tableau, but then you understand what the other people are doing. You're able to understand what an API is. You're able to understand maybe what a network port is, so that you are able to work with the rest of the team. And that is very important. And then, so for those who want to do a mid-career shift, the difficult thing is when you want to leave your current company. That is one obstacle. Then you also want to change the job, your job position, your industry. Let's say you were an accountant or a nurse or something. Then you want to go and apply for a job to become a data scientist in another company. Those are two things you're trying to do. You're trying to change your industry and you're trying to change the company. So start with one. The easier one is to learn the skills, identify the problem that analytics can solve. And then with that now, you're able to solve the problem in your company first. That is the problem that you have while still in that company. Then you can either get moved to the analytics department because you're in that same company, you have proven yourself, or you can also become just a data professional, which is you're in your department, you're the guru in your IT, in your network department, or you're the guru in your HR department. They come to you for analytics, so you stay where you are, but they know that in the HR, this is the guy who does our analytics. In the customer service, this is the guy who does our analytics. You can also do that, and then later on, and a new company. So I think, okay. So the next thing is these are some free resources I'll share with you in the chat soon. So for Excel, statistics, SQL, Python, Okay, so you have resources, and also machine learning. You have them from Coursera. You have these resources. I'll share the link.
Please quickly mute all mics and unmute yourselves. There's too much noise. We cannot get you.
Okay, let me mute all. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. Sorry. So we have these courses like this from Coursera, which you can take. Okay. Okay, let me mute this guy. Okay. Okay. So now let's okay. Okay. For some reason, some people are leaving their mics on. Okay, so let's move on then. So we have machine learning resources from AWS. So you can take the machine learning path. There is lots of resources there. Then also, let's move on to the next thing. So for those who want to like join the bootcamp, which means you're not motivated to study alone, to handle clear learning path, one-on-one live session, we have this for data analysts, where you learn SQL, Python, data analysis, Excel, and Power BI, and projects for your GitHub plus CV support and how to get your jobs. Same as data science, you learn Python, SQL, data wrangling, machine learning for the data science bootcamp, for those who want to have us hold their hand and have a live session. And then also for those who want to learn machine learning on AWS, you have the program, which is, this one is new to, you learn data engineering on AWS, how to bring in the data, learn Python, and the SageMaker, which is a Swiss knife machine learning for on AWS, and I think the #1. And then end-to-end machine learning operations, how to do your testing, deploy your models and monitor them, and then also help prepare you for the AWS machine learning certification, which is the top recognized machine learning certification in the world. So we also have customized trainings. If you want something like maybe you want to learn your Excel, or just Excel, you want to focus on it, or just Power BI, or just a Python developer track, or web scraping, things like that. So you just need to reach out to us. I'll send the link here. There will be a form you want us to fill. If you're interested in any of these, just get to us. And for the webinar and for the early registration, you have a 30% discount. And so what we conclude here is that the 2023 ETL is now more important now, and data engineering continues to be hot. The cloud will continue to grow, and we need to try to focus on solving problems, and everything will fit in place. It will be what will make you know the technology you need to use now, make what you need to study, what you need to build. And for both routes, it's always learn the core skills, take your technical skills, build something, and share. That's the modern CV now. Prove that you are able to do these things. You've learned it, but you're able to apply it, and then you share your passion in the interview. So that's just what we need to do to succeed this year. It's more of that, because there's a lot of LinkedIn learning. Some people play videos, they just watch anything about it. There's different platforms, but now it's what you really know by the projects what you prove you're able to do with them. So I think with that, we can go to the questions, and I'll just while I'm checking your questions and you're asking your questions, I would also be dropping the links for the links, so I can stop sharing, and I drop the links for and also to fill the form and be able to have a good. Okay, so let me drop that here right now. Okay, I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute. Okay. Okay, let me mute him. Okay, so I'm going to drop that here. Open up the free resources first. Copy. Okay, paste here in the chat. The free resources. Okay, does anybody see that? Okay, that's fine. Then now I'm going to copy the form if you want to get registered to one of the boot camps and get 30% discount this year for early registration. Let me just send that to you guys. So, and then you just specify what is interesting to you there. Is it the data analytics that you want, or the data science, or whatever? So let me paste that here, or a customized training based on your current need. Okay, so for that, we have done most of the explanation and what we expect to hear this year. I think we'll be having more webinars like this to discuss maybe about CV and how to maybe prepare for online jobs and things like that. We did some last year. We'll keep pushing you, trying to support you guys as much as we can with the knowledge, the little knowledge that we have. So for now, let's say we have to end somewhere. Now I'm ready for your questions. Okay, I see the first question here is the difference between data analyst and data science. The key difference between the data analyst and the data scientist is just that the data analyst doesn't need to build a model. So in data, I'll just tell you there are 3 or 4 deliverables. One deliverable is about producing maybe PowerPoints and things like dashboards, which is more of the Power BI, like this is the visualization, this is what we see, and reports, monthly reports. So that's what the data analyst mostly does. The second deliverable is about trying to predict maybe the sales for the next 3 months, who are the customers that will churn. So you are now using some machine learning to predict. So that is what the data scientist mostly does. So trying to predict, it's not more of trying to show the dashboard, but more of trying to predict. And then now there is the other deliverable, which is like building something which is real time, deploying it in the cloud, like hosting it real time. That's what the machine learning does, like a fraud detection system. It can't wait for 1 second to determine this action is a fraud. If not, the person will run away with the money. Like when you watch a video on YouTube, it's just recommending you another one the same moment. But this is more of the machine learning, which is building an application and hosting it in a system like the cloud or anywhere that is able to run like an app in real time. So that's the third deliverable. Then the fourth, which is the back, is actually the data engineer who brings all this data from different sources together. So I hope that is clear for you. If you don't understand, please let me know, Musa, or if you still have doubts, just give me a sign. But I think that should be clear enough. So and also for ETL, we just wanted to clarify. So it's extract, transform, load. So it's more of like you have data in different sources, like maybe in the database, SQL, there's this data for sales. In Postgre, there's a data for cost. They are different. So some the data engineers is to bring let me stop this.
That was one.
So the data role, the ETL is to bring all those things together, extract them from those different systems, transform them maybe to a single table or load them somewhere. So that's just the basic understanding. So, okay, Kamal is asking up to what level of programming knowledge is required for data analytics. Yes, in reality, there are small roles like business analyst or BI analyst, and that is where things like Power BI and Excel and SQL might just be enough for you because you're like focused on summarizing all that data and bringing the visualization, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. So you might not need too much programming like the data scientist who is trying to be able to learn data structures and algorithm, trying to go deeper to make like the machine learning engineer was trying to make something as light as possible on the cloud, because the lighter it is, the less bills you pay, the faster it is, the more satisfaction for the customer. So for the data analyst, it's more of critical thinking, understanding the business, and being able to transmit what you found out. You're more of a detective. So your programming is not the biggest thing for you. I hope that is also a good answer for you. Because the student should only focus on, so the science student should only focus on data science. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily if it's to focus only on data science, is that there are two fields. With the data analyst, you can go to be your operations manager, whatever. There's a whole career behind it, because the core, if you saw in the slide I presented, was that you are more of understanding the business. So it's a field which, if the science student is practical, if you like it, you can still be an analyst. But let's say, okay, if you think that you're good in your computer science or your programming already from your computer science school, okay, you will have a head start in the data science side or the data engineering side, because you will be able to understand your algorithms and all that. Yes, it's fine. But then data analysis is the whole field of being able to communicate with people, the product owners, sit in the management meetings, understand what they need, and be able to bring back to solve that. So the recording, I know lots of you have asked if the recording will be shared. Yes. So who is talking?
Hello, how are you?
Okay, so I get let me mute. Okay, can you mute your mic? So, do you have any other questions again? From okay, I've muted. So
my question was going towards the salary like expectations. If I'm a data scientist and I'm a data analyst, how huge is the difference when it comes to the salary expectation?
Okay, yes, it's a very good question. The data analysis is more entry level because it's easier. The programming is more complicated. You know, if you've tried to program before, there are times you're frustrated, you drop everything, you leave. So based on demand and supply and even the scalability, the data analyst is lesser because it is more, you're more of like, I think everybody has Excel in the machine. I'm not saying everybody knows about it, but it's in the pay rate is more of like, okay, less technical, is less pay because the barrier to entry is lower, but then more technical, which is you have to learn machine learning. As a data scientist, you learn things that you've not seen before, like ADA boost, CAT boost, XG boost, neural networks, recurrent neural networks, LSTM. So you learn some crazy things that somebody who is not disciplined enough will not be able to do that. So, but then, and then you can also build up or predict or come up with some fraud detection thing that helps a bank save millions even while they are asleep at midnight. Like a machine learning engineer has put some application that detects fraud in real time. So even at midnight at 1 a.m., there's nobody there is stopping anybody from fraud. So you see that person will have higher value also based on demand and supply. I hope you're okay with that.
No, it suits me. It's okay.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
I have another question. Must you understand artificial intelligence in order to do data science?
No, I think that's another discussion for another webinar. Artificial intelligence is big. Data science uses part of it, but artificial intelligence is anything that makes the machine do something. Even just a robot that is able to open and close a door is still artificial intelligence. So I think it's a big umbrella for everything. But then the data scientists can use just statistics, which is not artificial intelligence, which is why we are saying you depends on the situation at hand. you can use, but if you're calling yourself just machine learning, yes, the data scientist needs machine learning to predict. So let me mute who is there. But then intelligence is so broad because there's something they call weak AI, strong AI. It's a whole, I mean, it's a broad, very broad field. Self-driving cars, things like that. Artificial intelligence. So, but then, that's it.
Mr. CEO, please try to.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know, for some reason, some mics are on. So, do we have any other questions here? Okay, Musa, I think you have a question. Yes, you can ask your question. Okay, I see a hand was raised. Okay.
You're on mute.
Okay, maybe let me unmute him. Okay, so do we have any other questions here? Okay, so I think that there's really a lot that the data field has to offer, especially as things are now back in order, and then we are like trying to stabilize and we've seen lots of things, especially the eye raiser that things like ChatGPT has done last quarter, that's taken. So there's really so much that companies are really looking up to, so much, they expect so much from us. So wherever you start, wherever you feel comfortable, you can start as a data analyst and end as a data engineer later on. Start as a data engineer, end as a machine learning engineer, start as a machine learning engineer, end as a... So at some point in time, you are just trying to understand what is going on. Because, for example, if you're in the cloud, you might just want to know, okay, the data is coming in from this source, and then I'm also going to treat it like this. I'm going to export it like that, or I'm going to build it up on this data like this. So I prefer it to be maybe real time or not real time. So, I mean, you just be able to have those conversations because you're in the field. So your question is here, we're using ChatGPT and other AI tools in our everyday work. So what do you think are the advantages of ChatGPT? Yeah, it's a tool, and it always needs somebody to check the answer. They are still, even the CEO have said that they are still working on other versions. So sometimes the answers might not be real, but then it's just AI is just, it's taking summary of all what people have been doing and giving back to you. It's not like a human. So, but then it guides. There are times it's erroneous, there are times it's correct, but it's just to know that there are some good strengths using it it's just an augmented something. Just like when you go on Stack Overflow, there are some codes that you read. If you're a developer, some of the codes are not correct. Some of the codes are correct. Some fit on your Windows, on your system. Maybe you have a Mac, you have a Windows, I don't know. It might not. So it's just that's why we still need people to be able to judge, okay, this code, does it work or it doesn't work? You still need to be able to look at all of that. So, so now, okay, so I have a question of, can I differentiate between data analyst and business intelligence manager? Yes, actually, the business intelligence is more of trying to get like if you think of it like how can I say, the BI tools, like Power BI is now trying to democratize that and cut those lines. But before, we used to have like people try to create systems where people can easily access the data and able to get maybe like some chart trend of sales for the past week. So more of like something that we've predefined that this is what it should be like. That's why you come into the difference between data lake or data warehouse, where one thing is already fixed, the data warehouse is not flexible. It's more of like, this is how we decided that we'll be reporting things for the next 10 years. I don't know, it's difficult to change. Business intelligence. Then the data analysis is more of like, give me the freedom to attack the back end with my SQL or go anywhere I want. And that's why the ETL is coming as part of the role for the data analyst too. Go to the data lake, pick videos or pictures or tweets or charts or whatever, use anything available to get the answers. While the business intelligence is that this, just log in and these are the charts, the trends that you've been asking, especially like the top management. You want to be seeing the sales every day. this is it. So this is it. I give it to you every day as you've been asking. Every single day you open it, you will see that it is increased. Compare yes, last week on this week. It's just something that is already there. But the data analyst is more of like you're flexible, you're free, you're creative, you can do anything. You don't even need to go to that fixed system. You go and take the data yourself. I hope you get the answer. So I have a hand raised. I know we already past time, but then if there are questions, any questions, we want to just be able to give you the boost so that you can start this year with all the energy and be able to end with so much success. So are there any other questions? Any other issues, any other concerns? So everybody understands what is expected of them this year. And, is able to, yes, okay, I have a hand up.
Okay, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Well, my question is for the students who are carrying projects in science, are they going to focus on data science?
Okay, if they are carrying out your project in science, it's a broad field, right? What really in science? You get it. What really in science? Okay, let me ask, what kind of projects, for example?
Like projects in biology.
Okay, now that's a good question. Very good question. That biology gives you a domain knowledge, which the data analyst needs, same as the data scientist needs. So you can still take that domain knowledge of biology. And when you want to do your reports, you would understand maybe about the difference between maybe a bacteria and a virus or a protozoa. You'll be able to come up with some chart that you in the field are able to share some information. But me, I went to school, I studied Power BI, I studied Excel, I studied Python. I'll not even know the difference between a bacteria and a parasite or a virus. So I'll just produce one chart. I'll just put something. I'll not even know the difference. So that's why I say this switching of this career, it's already very possible, especially when you come with the domain knowledge from a field. And that's why I said that's a core skill, the domain knowledge. The tools are there. You can do that in Excel. You can do the same thing in SQL. You can do it in Python. And that's why when I do the bootcamp with students, I take the same problem. We solve that same problem in Excel. We solve that same problem in SQL, that same problem in Power BI, same problem in Python. Then you understand that you actually the analyst is not those tools. They come, they go, but it's you who is actually commanding them or actually building them because you have the domain knowledge. You know the questions to ask. You know what you're looking for, and that's how you get the answers. Okay. So I hope it answers that question for you.
Yes,
John.
thank you.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I just want to add something to what you just said. Being
Okay,
a
yeah.
data analyst or a data scientist does not really matter whether you are from the arts or sciences. It just depends on what you actually want to do, on your skills, your current skills. So it's not because the name is data scientist that you think that because you're doing sciences, you should go for data scientist. It depends on what you actually want to do in the two. If you want to do work basically with data, or you want to go into things like machine learning, like programming. If you want to do things like programming, then you choose data science. But if you want to do things like reporting, go for data analysis.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks so much. And Ernestine is one of our students in one of the bootcamps. So she's really helping us with the answers. Thanks so much, Ernestine. It's on point, and I know she's currently working already with this asset data analyst company already. So that's fine. So she's talking with both the training and the practicals and everything. So thanks so much for that contribution, Ernestine. And thanks so much. We had a nice time in class. I really miss you guys. Okay, so so I think that it's really the point. So we should realize that the core is what we bring, and we have lots of things already, which is our mindset, the way we think, like engineers, or as we think in a structured way, the analytic thinking. We already have the problem solving. We already have the business domain knowledge. You just need to learn a tool. And the thing is, when you start learning those tools, it starts opening your mind. It starts telling you what are the things you could build with them, what are the things you could be able to do, and then you start seeing that every problem in your company could be solved by data analysis. Every problem could be solved by data science. Then you start being able to show off your skill, and then they move you to the data science department in-house. Or because you start seeing that, no, we could find out the efficiency of this machine. Why are we renting cars all the time when we could just buy one? Over the year, 1 year, 2 years, we spend this amount. But if you bought one, we'll spend this amount. Everything to you becomes a data analyst problem. Data is just everywhere. So as soon as you start learning those skills, being able to start having this, like start that creative thing in your brain, then now you start seeing almost every problem in your company could be solved with data analysis or data science. So okay, Kelly, so you said you might have missed the explanation how the difference between statisticians and data scientists. Yes, actually, the statistics, yes, it's a field which is more of like you try to get experiments of, okay, what proves that this plant is going to grow because of lack of nutrient or lack of water. So you might have a placebo where you say, okay, there's a plant where we give everything. Then there's a plant where we don't give water. There's a plant where we give water. So you're more of like you define experiments. But data science or data analysis is more of like discovering patterns. I have seen that based from observation, when people enter the house, they always look left before they look right. So I'm going to put my marketing advertisement or in the supermarket on the left. So we don't need to know why, but we've observed that people do like this. So data science and data is no more of the why, but statistics is more of like experiment design. We need to create that same store or that same supermarket, and one on the street, busy street, one on less busy street, and prove that the busy street makes people buy more. But data science, or we have noticed that this GPS or whatever sells more, let's send them more goods. So it's kind of slightly different. That's why you should, as a data scientist, you should know more software engineering than a statistician, and more statistics than a software engineer. So you're in the middle. I hope it helps with that. Okay.
Hi, can I ask something?
Yes, please.
Hi, Israel. My name is Reyhan. Actually, I am very, very new in this data science field. I'm a newbie and I'm coming from economics and finance background. Just I'm really, really struggling with the aspect of the data science and the context actually. Just I am wondering, recently I have enrolled with the data science bootcamp, but just I'm really struggling with the programming things and everything. To starting with the data analytics is better or data science? Which one actually? Just I'm really a little bit confused, and data science feels a little bit complicated for me in this stage. What you are suggesting really, just I want to get a little bit suggestion about that.
Thank you so much. It's a very good question. I even have a YouTube video for that. My advice, quick answer, is I propose start as a data analyst, because you are like understanding the problem. Like that, you're not replaceable. There are many models that might make things faster, but the guy who thinks of the problem, who takes the PowerPoint slides, who does the monthly reports, who does the KPI performance, the sales have gone up because we are able to get new devices. That is like the core, because that's the human, that's core. That's what for me, I have a whole YouTube video on it. It's like being able to understand that, okay, in reality, you are in meetings, you are trying to understand what the general manager wants, and you are able to say, okay, I see that you want to improve sales. Let's run a promotion, sell 2 phones, buy 1 phone, get 3, buy 3 phones, get 4. So you're in the business, you understand what is actually happening, and then you are using your Excel, you're using PowerPoint, but you're getting that core, because as a data scientist, you can't build a machine learning model successfully without domain knowledge. So you might be the best programmer in the world, but your application will not be realistic. That's why you need to connect with somebody who has domain knowledge, sit with him while you are building the model for him to judge or see if the model is practical. Because it's just like you're just having some technology, excited about the technology, but what problem are you solving? So I have many students who have come to me say, I want to learn data scientist. I say, no, I advise you, start with the data analyst. You get the core, you got that foundation, which is irreplaceable, which anywhere you go, you always, even in a company, you always analyze something and say, I think the way we are even doing this, our business is not really working, because you have that eye at the back. You can't be replaceable. And now you're adding the technology, and data science at times is a kind of a research. You're trying to say, I think I can be able to predict how people maybe buy stuff or so. It might fail, it might not fail. That's what companies also need to understand. They need to finance it like a research. When it works, then the company will beat the competitors, but it might not work. So as a data analyst, you have that core understanding, you have that background, you stand from there, then you step up. So you are able
Thank
to.
you.
And because you must do explorative data analysis, you collect the data, you clean the data, then you do explorative data analysis to understand that, okay, is the temperature that is affecting the cells, or is it male, or is it female? If I see a Mr., can I just create a column and call all Mr. males and all Mrs. females? So you understand the data. Before you build a model, you understand the data. And you might say that, no, I don't need to build a model. It doesn't make sense. This data is too dirty. I need a better data, because after I created the analysis, you have to send a report and say, should we move on to building a model, or is it a waste of our resources? So understand that first before you build any model.
Yeah.
It's the company's resource.
And one more thing, actually, I want to ask. And one of the SQL and Python, starting with them is better, or which one should I start with, actually?
Okay, both are good. If you want to earn N as a data analyst, R will be okay. R has very good statistics packages. R is excellent. I started with R, but then I didn't want to earn as a data analyst. So if you want to move as a data scientist, things that build TensorFlow, all the deep learning, all the ChatGPT, all these things would work on Python, not on R. So R will be good for your analysis, your research, your projects. You in the university, you do how do they call this thing, in the thesis or whatever, but then you come up with your statistics. R is perfect. R beats Python for that. ggplot is excellent. But if you want something diverse, a Swiss knife, which can take you to web development, take you to deep learning, take you to self-driving cars, take you to anything imaginable, then you might just start learning Python and picking up from there. That's just my advice. Anyway.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes.
I have one more thing to add, like from what she asked. Beginning with R is best, but when we look at it critically, most companies do not use R.
Talking from experience, again, experience.
Most companies do not use R. So I would think, for me, I would say she should do Python.
Okay, because you know both and you have the experience. Thanks, Ernestine, for your support. So Ernestine is just giving you high experience, because I know she did R and Python, and some companies, they say they do R, but when they go there, they are only saying, no, do Python. But in the job description, they say they're using R. So, but then it's good to use it for your analysis, come up with your PowerPoint slides and show them, this is what I found out. They don't need to understand how you did it. But then I prefer Python, though. It's easier to learn, though. Anyway, yeah. Okay. So I think that we are already 15 minutes past time. But then if everybody is okay and there are not more questions, and I think we could take this offline. You already have all my contacts, everything where you can find me. Maybe let me just leave my email here in case you guys, somebody just joined directly from somewhere. Cyril Bandolo. yahoo.com. So you can reach out to me anytime. Let's talk about, I really want to see more people getting into data and really realizing their dreams. So I have this question from Keleso. You say you speak about business insights when you are talking about data science. Is this mostly applicable to extract business insights? I'm in academia doing statistical programming. They're interwoven though that's the thing, and most companies do not really have a clear-cut definition of each. But then business insights is the key. That's the key thing that the data analyst brings. And for me, I always think the data scientist in the making, because the only thing you need to add on a data analyst is the machine learning, that's predicting. The rest, the data analyst does that. So a data scientist who cannot be able to do this analysis or come up with insights, because your exploratory data analysis is about finding insights in the data. It's a whole product on its own. We must not always build models to predict. We can just explore the data, and then we see that, wow, I discovered that every Thursday we have huge sales. So on Thursday, let us have 2 service lines. Let's have 2 people, 2 cashiers receiving the people. If not, the service level will drop. You don't need to build a model for that. Don't use the hammer for because you know when you have the hammer, every problem becomes a nail. So know that when you have that flexibility, you're able to first understand the problem and then know the tool you're going to use, which will be right for that problem. So you need to just understand that as a data scientist, data analyst, you would always need to help with the business insight, especially when you have that exploratory data analyst phase before you build a model. You must analyze and tell the company, from all indication, the data is poor, the data is not the best, or whatever. Let's not go on to build any models in it. We are going to lose money for nothing. Let's get another set of data. I'll try again, and then if data is good, then we can use it to build. Okay, so is it okay then? So is it okay?
Hi, Stereo. I would like to have the email address because this is my first time of getting in touch with you.
Okay. Let me just type it here. I think I sent it to somebody on a single chat. That's why I'm trying to observe now. Thought I did that. Yes. Okay. So I think that's okay.
Thank
And
you.
yes, you guys have received the email. Let's discuss. Let's see how individually we can help you guys. It's a whole our consultancy and CFD is for that, is to help train on a personal basis, on a customized basis, and to be able to help people get in the bandwagon of the new tech, which is the data skills, and be able to mix that with cloud and just be on the market, because I think that's what is hot now. A whole of last year was about ChatGPT. I think the companies will still continue that discussion this year, which means there's a whole the eyes is on AI, data, and data science. So we just keep evolving. We have to keep moving. We keep moving. That's who we are. So let's keep moving. So, okay, yes, thanks for sharing your knowledge. This section was very helpful, really helpful. Thank you so much. So I think we can call it a day. Let's just call it a day. We are already 20 minutes past. I know data analysts or data science are usually passionate people. That's why they love their job and they are always there. Yes, Rachel, I think you'll be the last. Please, you can turn on the mic.
Okay, good afternoon. I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, Rachel, we can hear you. How are you today?
Yeah, thanks, Sylvia. Thanks for this. Okay, so I think you've said it all, but for me, and I think for I guess most of the people on the call, they are really, really interested in this data. So I will advise that in terms of data science, they should just keep it as a long-term goal, and let's use data analytics as the short and mid-term goal. And for their short-term goal, they should start with Excel, as you told us then. And for everybody, even on data science, you still need good understanding of the Excel, data structure, and perhaps you need to do some more of theoretical probability data, types of data and all that. Then you move up like that to perhaps SQL and Power BI, because Power BI is in thing now, then Python or R, depending on what you have. And like CV taught us during our class, and which I use in my own office too, I think once you get basic of Excel, especially because Excel is it's widely used, and you are able to get some basic understanding of Excel, I think even by the time you are going into data science, I've done data science for like over 1 year course in it, and of course I agree with those that said it's difficult, especially by the time you are entering all those machine learning and all those boosting and all that, you know. So, but understanding of your Excel, especially, they move all the basic 4 package that you need for as a data analyst. I think by the time you are entering data science, it will be an easy ride for you, and at least you understand some of the things. The only thing you need to learn then is all the algorithm and the rationale and assumptions that back each of those algorithms. Thank you.
Yes, thanks so much, Rachel. And I just wanted to say again, I just need to say she's one of the students who took the bootcamp too. So yeah, so I'm really happy that it really helped you guys do a lot. I'll not go too much in the detail, but then I'm just happy. Thank you all, and I wish that many people will be able to have the same kind of opportunity to be better and be more focused and be able to gain from the services we are also offering. So I think that okay. So as for the bootcamp, we intend to start, because I've seen a question when the bootcamp starts. So we intend to start this February. So you just fill the form, and then we get in touch with you so that we can be able to look at how, because we usually don't want the classes to be much, so that we can focus on a one-to-one with each of the students. So we try to see how we can restructure, maybe based on the experience you already have or the skills you already have, so that we can be able to put people almost the same learning rate together, so that we can be able to help each person, both with the course and the one-to-one mentorship sessions within the week, and the assignments and the follow-ups, and building the projects for them too, so that we can be able to have things at the end of the day, that at the end of the day, you have the core skills, you're strong enough, you are able to stand and able to get to work and say, okay, I even have these years of experience. Based on what you've learned already, I can be able to compete with people in the field. So let's just get in touch, and let's see that we can have you on the list. So I think we are already like 1 hour 30 minutes. So we have the email. I'll just put it again if somebody doesn't copy. So if you want something structured, I know it's not easy to learn on your own. I used to look at YouTube, like used to open like 4 different websites, Udemy, Coursera, all these things, edX, all types of training. But then we already have something structured. If you're the kind of person who likes to sit and follow something and follow a program, you're not motivated to do them on your own, then it's fine. If not, everybody, at the end of the day, we just want to see all of you guys making it in the field. Okay, so thank you so much. And somebody asked, when is the next webinar? Yes, you're going to be informed. And I am thinking that maybe you also need to get something more focused on the machine learning on AWS. For some of you already want to do something on the cloud or things like that. Anyway, we'll come up with some ideas, and just stay connected, stay in touch. We have the WhatsApp group where most of you guys are from there. So if you have not part of the WhatsApp group, just let me know. I could add you there. And then also, so that you are informed. And then also, we can also be able to find out or brainstorm what next you want to learn. Is it about remote jobs? Is it about CV review, how to prepare your CVs? Or is it about how to be able to prepare interviews, things like that? So I think let's just see how we can help you guys with what we already have been doing. So yeah, so just send me an email, I'll add you in the group, and then I think that will be okay in case I forget. So let's continue the discussion offline, and I hope by the end of this year, most of you be happy. Yes.
The previous one we were using, we did a different group.
I think there are different groups though. I tried to put people on Instagram, on Telegram. They said no, let's stay on WhatsApp. So there's WhatsApp A, WhatsApp B, WhatsApp whatever. But now I think I'll add you in the general WhatsApp group with so many people. Yeah. Okay.
Like, do you people have anything for like database administration?
Okay, all of that. Let's discuss that, because we are all data professionals. They are interwoven. So we have things like that when you try to talk about how to bring the data, that end to end, how to bring the data or how to keep the data, how to be able to secure the data or back up the data, be able to have some point of checkpointing, so that if something disaster response, something happens, you're able to get back all of that. They're interwoven. The data field is interwoven. Some play defense, some play midfielder. But let's have a talk. Maybe you just fill the form. Let us know your specific training that you want. If you just want to learn Python to be able to become a developer, a very good Python developer, it's still good. You want to learn your R or your Java, whatever, just let us know. We have the staff, we have the resources. It's a whole company. So just let us know, and then we are able to restructure with you guys. I hope it's everything is okay right now. So yes, let's just call it a day for now. We are not gone. I'm still here. You can have me on all the channels, LinkedIn, everywhere I am, even WhatsApp. Then let us continue to push on, support each other, and then at the end of the the year, we hope to have, if we are meeting again next year, we should be having more people talking like Rachel and Ernestine. There should be more people talking and confirming lots of things by the end of this year. Okay, so with that, I'll just say thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. It's not easy. And wish you all the best. Bye-bye. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah,